So yeah, guys, join me, man. I'm excited. So it's gonna be exciting. So thank you, guys. Thank you for listening, and keep a lookout for this project, especially if you want to buy a house. If you want to buy a house, you probably want to use my model, man. Like for real, you know what I mean? But I'm just joking. Yo, go use the right move model. You know what I mean? Because they probably invest a lot of money in theirs. How you guys doing, man? It's Chris, man. Zanalytics back at it again. And yo, listen, I'm here today. This is probably like I think this is probably one of the first videos that you guys actually get to see the direction of like the vision behind like Zanalytics and what I'm trying to do, what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? I say we even though it's me, but whatever. Do you know what I mean? But one of the reasons why I've been like kind of quiet is because I've been trying to plan like, okay, let me just try and actually get a Build What Matters project out to you guys. Do you know what I mean? So basically, what I actually wanna do is over the next how many weeks is that? Over the next 5 6 weeks or so, we're gonna try. I'm gonna walk you guys through like this project that I'm trying to do, which I'm gonna call price paid data for now, because I got no name for it. I'm gonna come up with a name midway or whatever. But basically, what the project is um, is using the price paid data from land registries. So if you guys can see, yep, this is the data that we're gonna be using. Can I zoom in? Ooh, yeah, I can zoom in. So yeah, so basically, this data set contains all the transactions of like all the houses that have been sold and stuff like that. Obviously, don't quote me for it, you know what I mean? But it might be a bit of what do you call it, discrepancy, you know what I mean, in some values and stuff like that. But don't worry about that, you know what I mean? We're gonna try and clean the data and um see what we can do. Do you know what I mean? Um and obviously they do like talk about the download options and explanations for the columns in the price paid data. And so we're actually going to go through this the first time and stuff like that. Whether it's an addition, a change, or a delete. So it's actually going to be pretty important to keep our data up to date so that our model is also up to date. So yeah, that's going to be a real challenge there. The data that's excluded from the price paid data. Do you know what I mean? And then also there's also something called a transactional data, but we're gonna get to that later on. Do you know what I mean? For now, I just kind of wanted to show you guys um, this website, and this is the data that we're gonna be getting, all the house price data. So basically, what's this exciting new project that I got? Let's check it out then. So got a nice little thingy here. So basically, from the top level, we got introduction or summary, obviously, and then we have number one, which is data exploration, which we're gonna actually do. We're gonna let me just move back a little bit so that you guys can actually see my head. We're gonna which we're, we're gonna try and actually do that locally. Um, and then we have the modeling, which is basically building selecting our machine learning model, and we're going to select how good it is or bad it is or whatever. Actually, all models are bad. It's just a case of like, how bad is it? Do you know what I mean? Or how bad can we do with it? Do you know what I mean? The data infrastructure, basically, this is a big part because after the modeling and after the data analysis, after everything, you kind of have all the pieces, but you still need to like kind of actually start building something. Do you know what I mean? So what we're actually going to try and do is actually set up a SQL database. And what I really want to do is set up a ETL job that basically takes the latest data. So whenever the price paid data is basically refreshed every month or whatever, I want to get that. And then what I want to do is I then want to clean it a little bit, and or well, clean it a lot, obviously, and then obviously just put it in my database. Um, and they do have an API, but the reason I don't really want to use the API is because I kind of want to add other features as I go along, like maybe in the future or something, or might add some crime data, some just all that extra stuff. So I wanted to be in control of this data a little bit. Um, and then we have number four, we have deployment, which is actually deploying the machine learning model. So I'm going to try and do my best to actually deploy it. You guys are actually going to see me do what I do. And number five is obviously we're going to try and actually create a web app. Um, yeah, we'll kind of see how that goes later on. But yeah, so just to break down these things into like what we're actually going to be doing in the first stage is we're going to establish our sharp question. First, we're going to see what question, like why would we even want to do this? Do you know what I mean? So um the first question that kind of came in my head was, is this property worth investing in? So it may be just like a postcode thing. So like, is this postcode kind of worth investing in? And then what are the like sort of like the top three postcodes to invest in each sort of like major city or in each county or something like that? Do you know what I mean? One thing that I'm actually gonna do as well is I'm gonna try and take out the 500,000 any house over 500 grand, just because um, yeah, I can't afford that right now. So I kind of need this to be helpful for me. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try and just kind of exclude houses that are over a certain amount of money. Just because not everyone is a millionaire, and I'm trying to do this for just normal surviving people. Do you know what I mean? Um, how many and also the hardest one, I haven't seen anyone try and do this, but I actually want to see if I can predict how many transactions in a postcode we can predict in the next 4 or 3 months. Basically what I mean is how many houses are going to be sold in a certain postcode or a certain area. That's quite difficult and almost impossible to do, so that's why I want to do it. Number two, um, understand the context of the data and frame the problem. So basically, literally, we're not even going to be coding here. We're just going to understand like, what are the sort of like the pitfalls of the data? What is this thing actually trying to tell us? Number three is we're going to explore like what kind of approach do you think we can take? Do you know what I mean? Like just sort of like a rough thing. It's going to change every time, and I'm pretty sure that every week I'm going to be getting frustrated, just trying to get this working. So then I called it number one, but it's really kind of like number two. Um, we're gonna download the data, play around with it, get some plots out. Hopefully, I can make the plots look really nice and kind of like whatever, so that I can kind of share them with you guys and stuff like that. Also, I'm gonna do a quick POC of Nottinghamshire, so I'm gonna do like an end-to-end type of little thing. That's gonna be from this sort of analysis and sort of workflow was kind of taken from a book that I read. I'll let you guys know the name of that book later on. But that quick POC was sort of like an example from that book. So I'm basically kind of going to run through that example, but I'm going to be using Nottinghamshire as my example. The reason I want to use Nottinghamshire is because I feel like I know it pretty well, and I'll kind of know if this data is kind of faking it, or if it's the real deal. Do you know what I mean? So I'll kind of see what's going on there. And obviously number three, does it make sense? Do you know what I mean? So sometimes as data people, we tend to just not use our brain. We tend to just think, yeah, the computer must be right, but the truth is, you still do have your human intellect, whereby you know more context than a computer. So yeah, so you can use that to your advantage, when you're working with data. And then number four, obviously prepare the data for machine learning algorithms. So basically select how we're gonna slice and dice it in terms of train and test, and then obviously get on from there. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. A lot of visualizations that we're going to be doing here. A lot of visualization we're going to be doing here. So yeah, that's it for this part here. Just gonna put that back in. Just gonna put that back in. Just like keep it neat. Model. This is probably the hardest part and probably also the part that might take me the longest. A lot of mathematics involved, duh, you know what I mean? But also a lot of understanding the pitfalls of whatever decision we make. We have to understand, how do we get out errors and all that stuff. So basically, number one is we're going to explore our available approaches. Number two is so basically what I mean by that is we're basically going to Google who's done this before, what did they do, and stuff like that. Number two, select the top three models, and we're going to train our data. So basically, we're going to compare the top three approaches that we come up with. Number three is analyze the models and their errors. We definitely want to know how close is it and how bad is it and stuff like that. And also number four, we're going to select the best one, I guess, and try and sort of like save that locally and see if we can invoke it with some new data and see how it behaves. And then I call this number three, but it's technically number four. Is our data infrastructure. So once we have that model, we know that we basically have all the code that we need to basically go from raw data to having a model. So basically, what we try and do is we're gonna try and set up an ETL job for that. And basically, what I mean is the raw data extract, transform, and load. So basically, what I mean is we extract it from HMRC, and we basically clean it. We then put it in a database, and so we're gonna try and set up Airflow for that. The reason I kind of wanted to set up Airflow, even though I know that Glue can probably do the same thing, or like any cloud providers can do the same thing, was because I can have that running on a server or something like a Linux server, like a really cheap one in AWS, and also if anything does a madness, I can also move that little server or my server configuration straight to like another provider or something. So that's why I didn't want to like tie myself with a specific cloud provider. So, and I didn't want to like kind of, the database obviously is going to be like, in AWS or something, but it's just a SQL database. So I can always kind of, find a way to, as long as I've got the raw data in maybe my S3 buckets or something, I can always try and like build a new one or something like that. So we're gonna set up the database to receive fresh data. So each time the land registries update their database, we also want to get that latest data as well. So basically, that's what we're gonna set up. That's my favorite sort of part to it, really. And then number four, deployment, polish the code. I'm going to try and do this as I'm going along so that I don't have to actually do this. Write tests for our model. We definitely have to do this. So writing unit tests for our code. That's just, like there's just no excuses. It's going to be annoying, going to be painful, but that's just what it is. We're going to have to do it. Research the best way to deploy the model. So we're going to kind of, this is another weird one as well because but I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna end up using Lambda or something, and API AWS API gateway. Is it API gateway? I feel like I got that wrong, but API, we're gonna build it as a REST API basically. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I think it's API gateway. I'm right, but we're gonna deploy the model through a REST API. So that just means that we can kind of integrate it with something. But obviously, we are actually gonna give it an authentication key. I might not give it an authentication key just so that anybody out there can actually like use it and stuff. But I don't want somebody to just thrash me, you know what I mean? It's just, full throttle me, and then I end up just being charged loads. And then obviously when we have that API running and we can invoke it with our new data and our new features and stuff like that, and also somebody can at least like ask, like, so whatever our model does, we can sort of like send data to it, and then it will give us a response and stuff like that. Once we get to that point, then what I want to do is I actually want to build a UI for for anybody that would want to use it. The reason I actually specifically said create a serverless web app is because it'll be cheaper to run. Obviously, I know that this is like a side thing and like just like a mini project and stuff like that. So I don't want to incur any running costs. Um, because I'm, obviously broke in it. Do you know what I mean? So, I got to keep the costs down as much as possible. So, first is write the UI. I'm gonna try learn some JavaScript if I can. And I'm gonna try put maybe user login, just use AWS Incognito and just to see like, what's going on and stuff like that. And if I can integrate it with the website that I have now, which is Zanalytics or IO, then that would be pretty cool. But yeah, and then we have right the back end. Gonna see how that goes. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. And I've wanted to do this project for a long time, and hopefully you guys can support me and yeah, if you really want to go through this with me, let me know. I don't really know how I'm going to be sharing like what I do, but I'm going to try and at least try and maybe record my screen while I work or something, and try and condense the video down into realistic steps or something, you know, um, yeah, into just like realistic steps, like um, something that somebody can just like catch on and just try and like follow and stuff like that. And obviously I will have a GitHub repo for this, so yeah, 100%. Just let me know if you want to be part of the movement. You can have your own project or something like that, but we can maybe follow the same steps into doing this. So yeah, this is gonna be really good, guys. Just keep a lookout for this. I'm starting next week, and I'm literally foot down. I've foot down, and we're gonna do this. Um, and one last thing. The like this sort of problem and this sort of like thing is literally the reason I actually started this YouTube channel. So, for me, my passions are I love looking at houses. Um, I love looking at cars, but there's nothing for me in cars, really, to be honest. I mean, maybe there is, but I don't know. I love sports, so basically, and also my third pillar is health. So basically, I've always looked at this analytics thing as sort of like, if I'm gonna do something, it's gonna be like maybe real estate apps, um, a sport app or something. I support Man United. My team's doing pretty bad, and I kind of want to know the reason why. So you best know that a sport one is coming soon. And then the third one is health. So I really want to know. When I say health, I really mean like in terms of food and stuff like that. So like kind of optimizing your calorie intake and like getting the best, basically eating the best food by eating what you really want. And so that kind of problem, I would like to solve that using some sort of linear optimization or something like that. But I'll look into that into the future. I'm not really thinking about that right now. So yeah, guys, join me, man. I'm excited. So it's gonna be exciting. So thank you, guys. Thank you for listening, and keep a lookout for this project, especially if you want to buy a house. If you want to buy a house, you probably want to use my model, man, like for real. You know what I mean? But I'm just joking. Yo, go use the right move model. You know what I mean? Because they probably invest a lot of money in theirs. You know. But yeah, I'll catch you later. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.